Right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll start with the afternoon session, and I hope to finish earlier than planned. But we start with Sture Ud, who is the CEO of MoS. So Sture, the floor is yours.
He's dealing with digital information, but he has a slight problem with computers. So it's
in Europe, not in Finland, but in Europe.
In Europe, it's again human element.
So it's in, but it doesn't.
That guy was paid by the competition. He's killing all of our presentation. So we use whenever he comes back.
Esto lo estás moviendo tú. Ah, vale, que va con la. Pedimos la problema para que lo hagamos.
You're creating a lot of I like problems.
You like to sort it out. You enjoy it.
Yes, I mean, this man, he's risking his life.
Okay, let's start. The theme is what will happen in logistics if it is digitalized. And that can't be told in 10 minutes. But I will do my best to just keep the facts. So, fact number one. Costa Concordia would never have entered this tragedy if it would have been digitalized. Estonia tragedy in Baltic Sea would never have happened if it would have been digitalized. We were discussing for some minutes ago what should we do to promote new kind of interest to work on ships. And please, after 15 years, those working places which we see now will not be there. There will be new ones. There will be more interesting ones. And because of that, we don't even maybe need to attract women. They will be there because they are interesting. They're not as stupid as they are at the moment.
Wow.
So the question will be how to attract the men.
Sure, I think you better get the safety belt and the safety harness. I smell blood.
I jump. Why is this digital a little bit complicated? This is a typical standard test for people. You know, traditionally, and especially in logistics, we are tending to understand what we see is the reality. And if you look on this small picture, you tend to think that the blue point with big black round balls is smaller than the second, but they are exactly the same size. The reality is not what you see, please understand. But in the logistic world, you tend to think that it's what you see you transport, which is the most important. In the digital world, we are not studying, it's not important what you are transporting, actually. We are calculating what are the values behind the whole transport system. And to come to a brief point of view, if you look on how you use information today to follow up what is going on in the logistical system, you have a mass of different systems. in use if you transport one small package from Amsterdam to, let's say, Finland. It goes through 100 different information systems to follow not only the product, also follow who is doing it, the documents, the taxation authorities, and so on. 100 different. So when you see this, you may think that this is only words and signs and symbols. But you have to understand that behind every letter, every symbol, is a different information system. And this information doesn't talk with each other. You have a huge amount of fantastic different kinds, even from using still paper, even faxes sometimes. And these information it doesn't speak with each other. So there is a huge need to make a total overhaul of how information is handled. But that's only one side of the story. That can be done today, to put it briefly, with a mobile phone, using technology available in the mobile phone itself. We can call it auto ID to be with the use to handle everything from products, people, documents, and work performance. Now, the second biggest important thing I want to put in your head. If I have to transport one pallet from Finland to Germany, it costs me 50 euros per ton. If we start to calculate the so-called indirect costs for that power, we end up in 100 euro per ton, which are not normally even considered within the scope of logistics. Now, the good side with this is that with digitalization, you are cutting the costs of the indirect easily 50%. So the digitalization will make it possible to develop the civilization in Europe, right? On the second hand, it makes easier the stress on cutting down the direct cost per ton, which is not so much easy anymore, because you have already the biggest cranes, you have the biggest ships, you have the biggest cars. Now, let us have a little bit look about these indirect costs. You can find them if you read EU Commission reports. So I just made a summary. For example, just to make an example, of course it's a brutal one, but it's not untypical. Imagine you have a factory. Imagine the factory is ordering a spare part from Germany. And imagine you use the best available transport system, DGL, to have it in time. What happens? The factory people in charge of production, they have to stay online on the computer to follow where is that F spare part moving. They spend a lot of their time. What happens, and I tell you just a practical example. In one case, the whole factory was waiting for the spare part to arrive. It came to Hamburg according to the tracking system of DGL. Everybody was happy. Now it will go by the plane to Helsinki. Okay, we can start to plan the factory, how it will work the next coming week. Suddenly, Monday morning, it hadn't arrived. Because even it arrived to Hamburg, it didn't come with a plane. But the information system didn't tell anybody that it missed the plane. The result of the whole story was that the factory lost 35,000 euros because they had to rechange the whole production schedule for the week. Of course, people in the logistic are telling, it's not our fault. It's not our problem. But there you do a mistake. This is a problem because in the future, logistic will play an important game for the whole business. If you don't understand it, it's a problem for you yourself. Those who understand it will be the winner of the game. Because you don't need to cut down on the cost of per ton or per piece. If you can cut down on the overall cost. And here I have stated now on European level, what is the digital logistic value per year in Europe? So alert functions, it means that the system in the logistics should alert if DGL misses a plane. The guy shouldn't report to DGL. It's not important to report to DGL. It's important to report to the buyer of the spare part that we missed the flight. So we need to recombine totally the information flow of the players. And that will the digitalization do. The digitalization will even ask for personal responsibility, that the person on a ship should report if he sees anything with the goods. Maybe it has been in too hot or too cold. He should not report to his bosses. He should report to the buyer of the goods, maybe in totally another countries. We know that illicit trade is a huge question in Europe. Unfortunately, you cannot fight illicit trade unless you do it in the logistics. What does it mean? Fake tobacco, fake alcohol, tax evasion, fake drugs. You have to do it in logistics. And it is a cost for Europe if you don't do it. Even you say you don't like to be involved in that. I say you have to. Item level control. Consumers are increasingly demanding to know where from is the meat. Just to have an example. Who produced the meat? Not by any advertising campaign by brand owner. They pay 10% more for the meat if they know who produced it, which sheep it was. There's a huge added value in digital world. And that has to be done in logistics, because fake in the meat is done in the logistics by contamination, right, and wrong products. The same in industrial issues. You have more and more requests from companies when they buy a spare part. Has the metal really been according to the original composition? How can I believe in it? I don't like to see a web page. I don't like to see a sticker. We guarantee. Companies are cheating. Mitsubishi agreed last week that they have been cheating 25 years, that consumers. It has to be an item level control in the logistics. Human faults like Costa Concordia. Human faults regarding, not proper performance. 20 years ago, the best chess player in the world was beaten by a computer. 20 years ago. Still, we behave like we haven't heard about it. And computers are far more better than humans in performing. And here is just a calculation based on the reports made by European. And when you look at those, what I want to put in your head. Those who pay for logistics, increasingly in the future, will not choose the route which has the biggest harbor, or the biggest crane, or the biggest ship. They will choose the route which is digitalized. Maybe it's a little bit more expensive, but they will for sure know where from it came. What is all this story about? Can we guarantee that no mistake is done? So the old history with the cheapest per ton is not there clearly anymore. We will do now the first A to Z digital trade management system in Europe, in the world, a case study. Up in the north, in the MoS. We will not be able in this first case to have huge amount of data. We will follow up 40,000 tons of products on item level control basis, but there will be 500,000 of items. It's in the Midway Alignment project. We will follow up a multimodal solution, including not only ships, but also trucks, seller, buyer, operators, authorities, item level, goods, people, documents, and work, trying to include everything into a mobile system, which doesn't need any new infra. It doesn't need new equipment, because everybody has it. the mobile phone. So here are the things we are following in this particular case, and the results we will announce hopefully in half-year time. How much they correspond then to those figures which theoretically are estimated in the EU Commission report of indirect costs related to logistics. On top of that, we are preparing for a completely new level of mobile-based system, including sensors, which doesn't need special technology. All those different colors are inkjet productions with nanotechnology, which feels if the product has been in too moist conditions, wrong gases, wrong temperatures. So you have completely integrated not only data, not only picture, but also the sensor information from the whole flow of a product life cycle. Thank you. 10 minutes. We'll give.
Digital watch.
Thank you, Stor. We'll now go to Ulf Svedberg from the Swedish Maritime Administration and Monolitha.
I have to change the presentation because it was prepared before. So
You have to use now.
upside down.
Yeah.
Look more modern.
But,
Okay.
yeah.
Enough
Perfect.
beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have a haute couture working for us here in Brussels. Wolf just had a few touches.
I haven't heard about that. I think I walk around instead of sitting down there. I need to show you some things on the screen. Everybody can hear me?
Yes.
Frederick?
Yes.
That's okay?
Yes.
You're the oldest one, but you hear me.
I'm old, but the years are good.
That's okay. You are like wine. The older, the better. Same with me. Okay, I will give a presentation 10, 15, or maybe 20 minutes. Depends on if you get tired and bored. So, my name is, you see if it starts. Oh, it doesn't start. Okay.
Digitalization.
Somebody took the stick. Did you take out the USB memory?
It's on the table.
That's why it doesn't work. Don't touch the equipment. Talk about human error.
Yes, human error, digital man.
Yeah. And now we're going to talk about digital business and it doesn't work.
Yeah, and
So, back
try and
again.
make us believe in you.
My name is Ulf. I work for the Swedish Maritime Administration. I work with research and innovation. Spent 18 years at sea. Just the crash course and who I am, so you know who I am. 20 years as a pilot or chief of the pilots in Stockholm. I will talk about the project that we heard about before, the Mona Lisa project. We had some money from the Commission, very nice. We had a prototype working the first 3 years, 2010 to 13. It was quite a success, the prototype worked. It's about exchange of information. So we continue with the Mona Lisa 2.0. And after that, we continue now with the Sea Traffic Management project. And in the Mona Lisa projects, we found out the concept of sea traffic management. So that's a concept, STM we call it. And the budget has been growing. We spend a lot of money, I'm sorry, but it's for the greater good. And the partners are more and more because everybody now understands which way we are going. As I said before from Sture, it's a digital word. So, STM validation, that's the name of the project that's running now. And it's all about, and the most important thing as an old captain is the safety. As we said, safety at sea, safety navigation. That was the main question. And also it's about sharing of information. That's what I will talk about mostly. The technology and sharing information between stakeholders. And also we will not adopt for the future. Our commitment is to shape the next generation of navigation and shipping. So it's a big word. Every 20 years, something new happens. 1980, we had a question, the question was old, where am I as a sailor? But we had a good thing coming up there, the GPS. And then 2020, no, the 2000, the question were, who are you out there? who am I going to meet on the sea? And the AIS solved that. Everybody knows AIS? It's a Swedish invention. No, it's my colleague Benny from Stockholm. He invented the AIS. And this is the next generation. After AIS, this will come. And the question now is how to interact. Now, when I know where I am, and I know who you are, how can we cooperate and how can we interact? And that's the sea traffic management concept, thinking. Safety. The problems we have is still at sea. It has improved a lot the last years. It's less accidents now than before. Still, to compare with the aviators, our friends up there, we have 700 accidents every year according to the EMSA, the last maritime accident review. I checked with the EASA, the airplane guys, and they have 30 accidents. So 30, 700. There's space for improvements. I think we are not the same. They are flying, we are floating, but I think we can learn some things from them. But they're looking at it in another way. Here is a ship going from Germany. This is Sweden, Denmark, Bornholm. Going from Germany up to Sweden. This happens 2 years ago. It happens all the time. It struck Sweden. It was supposed to turn left here, on port side, here, and then go in and pick up a pilot. Somewhere in the voyage, he fell asleep. He was dead drunk, they found out. And he was going to the ground. And you can see him here, close to the small fishing harbor. Because we don't have any assignment in Sweden or any country in Europe at all to see if the captains are following their intended route. Only the VTS inside national waters, we can check what they are doing. We don't have an assignment in the open water to see if the people are following their intention. We didn't know if his intention actually was to go and drop anchor here or not. We just noticed that he struck the ground. Another accident last year, September, quite big ship, Victoria. She also left Germany. All problems starts in Germany. Any Germans here? They started down here, and you could see, I studied this route. This is from the AIS track. I could see here, he was running quite bad. He had acquired enough knowledge to get into problem, but not to get trouble. That's about the CSTCV convention. He acquired enough knowledge to get into trouble, but not to get out. But that's what happened here. He came closer to Sweden. He was supposed to turn left here with his Anholt, going up 350 degrees on the compass. This is 2 hours from that point until he struck the ground. 2 hours. And nobody saw this coming. If we just have had the assignment to control and check and monitor the routes, are they following their intended routes or not? What are they doing? We don't have that assignment. That's what we want to change. So within these 2 hours, we could have seen very close here, and finally he struck the ground with a 5.9er with a 10-meter draft ship. No big success to pass that shot. And also, as Fredrik mentioned before, the paperwork and the bureaucracy on board ships is immense. It's absolutely ridiculous. We have, according to a Danish captain on the MoS vessel container ship, a captain visiting Europe, 6 ports in Europe, and it's 80 documents to prepare. 80% of the workload for a captain today is sitting and doing paperwork and reports. And with our idea, our concept, we call it maritime informatics. The shipping business, as you said, Sture, before here, is rapidly becoming a digital business, very quickly. And it's through digitization or digitalization. It's a small difference. But it's becoming, and it's going faster and faster. And this is what we are working with in the sea traffic management validation program. And also because of us captains, because we have to blame ourselves. We put ourselves in the middle of the information chain. Always the captain in the middle. I want to know, I need to know, and I keep my information like this. And all the stakeholders around, they have to call each other, mail, fax, anything. This is how it looks like today. And actually the aviators, they have the same problem. But we keep the information for ourselves and we don't let it go. Instead, we must think different now. This is quite simple. Internet, the maritime internet, the federation of information, take out the ship from inside, put it outside, because all of the information is already available on servers ashore. Don't ask the captain. If any one of the stakeholders here, they want to know something from information, it's in here. We store it, we share it, and the owner of the information gives access to the information. And this will change the shipping ecosystem totally. Today, it's like this. All ship is an isolated community, but the captain keeps his information, and if you share, you lose. That's today. Don't share anything, you will lose. But in the future, with the maritime informatics that we're working with, we will change it totally with a common platform of exchanging of information. Everybody is working on the same platform, and we share, we win. So that's the difference. That's already going on now in the regular world where we are now, not at sea, but we will change it. We'll see if it can change. And it's about flow management. And this mindset of I need to know, we have to change it to need to share. And then we can get the common situational awareness, not situational awareness, the common. Everybody knows exactly what's going on. That's the traffic management. So I've shown this before. Can you see what it is? 1,000 dumb, stupid fishes. But they don't collide with each other because they share information in an extreme manner that I don't know if anybody knows how it works. I think they work in groups of 7. And then together they share. Because here you could see the shark and he cannot catch them because they work together. So we share, we win. Quite simple, we just have to learn from them. Now it's 3 minutes film.
Modern maritime transport is a complex, demanding business where meeting customer requirements and deadlines are merely parts of a much bigger picture. But perhaps the biggest problem that exists here is that of communication. Developed in 2010, Mona Lisa was designed as a tool that would simplify shipping coordination in the Baltic region. During its development, however, a considerable number of new challenges and possibilities were brought to light. Unlike the airline industry with its global air traffic management network, the shipping industry has to rely on manually updated information. The problem lies in the fact that the flow of information is limited to a point-to-point exchange, instead of existing as a network that allows instant system-wide access to all relevant shipping data. This entails time-consuming work, keeping up to date with traffic, port, cargo, weather, and safety information. What this means in the long run is a much bigger margin for potentially disastrous errors. Sea traffic management is a new concept that will enable open, real-time sharing and updating of information, solving many problems throughout the entire transport chain, and providing an unprecedented overview of maritime activity. Each voyage will be given its own unique voyage number. This number works as a carrier of all relevant information concerning the planned voyage. In order to function, sea traffic management relies on all stakeholders adding new data as soon as it's made known, which is in turn instantly obtainable by all parties. This way, the amount of available information will grow as the voyage continues. From port of origin to destination, route exchange between ship and shore, from cargo carried to all relevant data and information, it will take the present mindset from need to know to need to share. Sea traffic management will be of great benefit for ports where goods are received or delivered. Booking times for berthing will be smoothly coordinated, and each port will be utilised with maximum efficiency. This in turn will simplify the freight process inland, leading to a more stable transport infrastructure. Navigation will also become far less problematic. Route optimization will ensure traffic safety, while boosting the economy through saved time and fuel. which in turn will radically reduce the industry's environmental footprint. Information exchange on this scale will also give emergency services such as police and search and rescue a strategic situational edge. With data that can be remotely accessed en route and on-site from wireless devices such as smartphones and tablets that will help coordinate operations and save lives. Coastal Security and Customs will also benefit from the Sea Traffic Management Information Network. By analysing traffic data, authorities can track and pinpoint suspicious vessel activity, reducing crime immeasurably. If we are to succeed in our goals to reduce emissions and increase safety and security with higher efficiency, we need to implement solutions like sea traffic management.
You heard in this short clip the route exchange. I don't know if you remember it, but the route exchange, that's the key, one of the biggest, most important key to the whole project. Because if we can exchange routes from ship to another ship, or from ship to shore, then we have a lot of things. For the captain, it's a decision support that will be incredibly nice to have more. If you can exchange the information between the ships, where are they going, how are they moving. Navigational assistance that we can have, if we can exchange information from the ship to the shore side, then we can have a look if the captains, the ships are following their intended route or not. Because it's always the captain that decides how to go. The ship will be run from the ship, not from shore. And the captain always decides how to go. But when he has decided how he will sail, he must stick to that one, not change. If you want to change, okay, change it, no problem. Send in the new route, and everybody knows what's going on. And also we can monitor intentions, we can optimize the routes, and that's some nice things. If we can have over the route to the shore side, we can help the captain with more information, better information, how to optimize the route. An intermodal connection, save fuel, reduce emission, and as I heard before here, one of the most important things, if I have been with the jungle, big data analyzer, this is something really interesting. And this is a small video of the ship that we saw before, also coming from Germany. Exchange information with the shoreside center in Denmark. He's following his route. The captain planned the route, and he's following the route, no problem. With our tool that we have invented inside the Mona Lisa project now, we can monitor the ship as long as it stays within the limits, it's all okay. Here, he drinks a little bit of whiskey too much, he's falling asleep, and he goes outside of the track. He's not following the track. Immediately we have a warning both on board and on shore side. We can send over a new route, or the captain, he wakes up, and he can send over his new. If he doesn't wake up, the Coast Guard, they can be prepared here to pick up the oil when he struck the ground. So they will wait for him. Aim-proof. And for the captain on board, here's one ship and there's another ship, and they're going to meet, and they don't know where they're going. Are they going this way, this way? Today, we have to share information. You know how we do? We pick up the telephone, the VHF, and say, hello, port side ship, what's your intention? And if you're in the Dover Strait, if you say, ship on my port side, you have maybe 25 ships answering. I'm on your port side. Or you on my starboard side? No, I was. So it's a big confusion. That's why we have AIS. But still, it doesn't solve the problem. With our tool now, you just click on the screen on the Ectis. The ship here clicks that, OK, and it will roll out on the screen. So now they can exchange information. We exchange information today with the VHF, but tomorrow we'll do it graphically. Much better, much safer. Still, he can be drunk and go straight ahead. Have better information. And this route exchange. Thank you very much, European Commission. We finalized, because if this will happen, we need to have same data formats on all equipments on all ships. Because every seller of equipment, it's Kongsberg, Transas, Sam Electronics, different Furuno, they have different systems, different data formats. We need one common format. And that we manage within the Mona Lisa project. It's like a maritime Bluetooth. And we finalized it thanks to the Commission and the money. We have now it standardized. So on all active ships all over the world, as soon as they update, they will have the latest format. these are the big company that works with us. We didn't do it, the Swedish Maritime, they did. But we made it happen together with the Commission. So, conclusions. Finally. Oh, it comes too much up. The maritime world will be connected, one way or another. And the question is not if we are going to do something about it. The question is, what are you sitting here, representing your entity, organization, what are you going to do about that this will happen? I have another film, but I think it's too short of time. Okay, I skipped it. It's a funny one. So I go directly.
How long Gulf is the second film?
Pardon?
How long?
3 minutes.
How long?
3 minutes.
Oh, pretty long.
Okay?
It's the one with Robert?
See if I can start. It's quite funny one. I like
Mona Lisa. From route exchange to time slot allocation and deep sea assistance. The planning of routes will be simplified and more cost efficient. And is that a cheese sandwich?
Cut! There's a fucking sandwich in the ocean. No food on set.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Let's take a break.
5 minutes break, everybody.
Imagine not having a system managing sea traffic worldwide. Well, we actually don't need to imagine. There's no such system running today. From here, we're communicating e-navigation solutions on how to make sea traffic safer, more efficient, and climate-friendly worldwide. With Mona Lisa, we've created a concept never before seen in the maritime domain, influenced by other means of transportation. With sea traffic management, we provide all parties with common situation awareness. Much like a shoal of fish, each ship will know its position in relation to the others. Just